This is Craigan, a housing estate perched on the hill that overlooks Derry, home to many, past and present, including a true son of the city, Vinnie Cunningham. Born on the 29th of March 1966, he was known by many as an extremely proud Derry man, with a great love for his hometown.
Literally everywhere you go, there's somebody, yes, Vinny, what about you, and whatever else, and people coming over to him.
Just what a person, it's just a lovely, lovely, giving person. Everybody loves Vinny.
A really, really nice guy, really good friend, and I would say a great Derry man.
Despite his many successes, Vinny remained humble and led an ordinary life. But Derry was always at the centre of it.
His passions were, apart from his family, Derry City Football Club and the Undertones. And these are intensely core Derry values, if you like.
Vinny was the most ordinary Derry man you could meet. He was not pretentious in any way.
He was exceptional, but ordinary with a great capital O.
Unfortunately, Vinny passed away suddenly on the 8th of February this year. But his love and passion for Derry lives on through his family, friends, and his life's work.
Vinny really did love Derry with every fibre of his being, but I think it was very clear when he died, and I hope to him before he died, that Derry really loved him back as well.
The line that always springs to mind is, gods make their own importance. And Derry, Vinny was one of those gods, if you like. Vinny started, as he would say himself, wee lad from Craigan. No objective prospects other than, the usual thing. But he never had any intention, but like myself, of leaving this place, of wanting to work from here.
Vinny had a keen interest in film from a young age. He won a prize for his early amateur work. Filmmaking and camera work came naturally to Vinny, and he quickly rose up through the ranks to become a respected cameraman.
There were a number of people acting as DOPs at that time, but it's not unfair to the rest of them to say Vinny was the star.
I could say, we need a camera, and if he was available, he would do it, and money wouldn't even be mentioned.
If he can help, he'll give you that help for free. If he's got a bit of archive, he would have done that. Give me a credit, and sure, we'll do that.
There was a humanity within him and in his practice that amplified the quality of the work he made with a camera.
Vinny's keen eye for quality camera work led to a 30-year career working with Joe Mahan and an entire camera crew, most notably Billy Gallagher, producing Lesser Spotted Ulster, where Vinny's camera work was recognised by the Camera Guild for outstanding work in his field.
So I was only the front man, as I used to call it, the pointy end of the stick, and then the people behind me were the ones who were doing a lot of the work, a lot of the creative work. And among them, of course, was Vinny and Billy.
Billy, Vinny's partner in crime. You rarely got Vinny without Billy. Vinny and Billy had a very protective relationship over each other and a really tight team. They'd been through a lot together. Billy was a huge part of everything that Vinny did, and Vinny was a huge part of everything that Billy did as well.
And they made nearly every single one of those programmes, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them over many, many years. They came with me all over the country. You're working during the day and then you're socialising at night, and sometimes too much socialising at night, so I sort of crack them up a few times, right, come on, get to your beds and so on, But having said that, it was very important, if you have a team like that, to have a right chemistry with the people. So you need to really get on with people, and that's where Vinny had scored tremendously, because he was really, really good at that,
Lesser Spotted Ulster is very, very different form of work, because it really, really is a team, like Joe Mahan, Liam Campbell, Billy Gallagher, myself. It really is a team of 5 or 6 of us. Going out into the countryside, sometimes we're seeing the places for the first time. It's just totally relaxed, totally different compared to doing, being 2 weeks at Drumcree or, in riot situations in Derry and places like that. It's just totally different, totally relaxed, and it really, really is a good atmosphere. It's a good series of programmes they work on.
It was long days, but they all said he never worked a day in his life because he loved what he done. He loved every minute of it.
Well, I was delighted when I got the letter last week from the Guild of Television Cameramen. They say that it had been awarded a Certificate of Merit award. The award ceremony takes place in October, so I was delighted. Like, I mean, programmes that I've worked on in the past have won awards, but this is the first time I've actually won something myself, personally.
If there's any secret to our success, or our longevity, I should say, Billy, for certain, is part of that, and Vinny is central to that. You know, I don't think we would have lasted quite so long making these programmes had it not been for Vinnie Cunningham. He was never content simply to be a cameraman. He wanted more than that. He wanted to make his own statements. So naturally, he gravitated towards making his own documentaries.
And so, Vinny set to work on creating a full-length documentary about his favourite band, Derry's very own punk rockers, the Undertones.
Vinny is of the Undertones generation, or perhaps more accurately, the Undertones are of Vinny's generation. Vinny was a person looking for expression, looking for modes of expression. And in the Undertones, they were teenagers to look up to. So Vinny was attracted to that.
Well, I was only a pop star living in Craig and Broadway at the time. So Vinny and his brother used to come to my house and he would bring things to sign. And I was a bit embarrassed, you know, it was like, boy, come to your front door. And I said, aye, all right, you know. He just always struck me as just a great fella. And of course he was then in the My Perfect Cousin video.
Rejection, he will never be left on the shelf, 'cause Kevin, he's in love with
Stop! What age were you there, Vin?
14.
14. And how did you get into do the video?
We used to call in the Orchard Gallery in Derry every Saturday, look at the art exhibitions and all. And one Saturday we called, and it was my birthday actually, the 29th of March 1980. And the Orchard Gallery was closed, so we knocked at the door to find out why. And the next thing, the director said, "Do you want to be in a film?" They brought us in.
He was a fan of the band and remained a fan of the band forever. He was the conscience, nearly, of the band, you know.
You're not just a filmmaker, like you were a fan of these guys.
That's right. Since it was since 1978.
Is it true when these boys were playing away in Sweden and all these things, you boys had no money to travel to see them, but you rarely missed a concert? Tell us how you managed to hear.
We found this telephone box in Derry, and all you had to do was put 10 pence on it, and you could ring anywhere in the world and talk for as long as you wanted for 10 pence. So me and my brother and two other friends used to go down to this phone box when they were on tour and ring the places they were playing. And when the girl or the fella answered the phone, we used to say, "Don't talk, just hold the phone for 5 or 10 minutes."
Anything we were doing, I would always take Vinny's word for it. And I never said that to him, but I always knew that if he approved, we were doing all right, we were doing something okay.
Where was this telephone?
It was in Rosemount.
At Rosemount?
So BT's watching now.
You owe them a
Thanks
fortune.
very much.
You owe them a fortune.
The Undertones trusted Vinny with telling their authentic story and were convinced to make this documentary. A dream come true for Vinny.
He embedded himself within it and became their amanuensis, the person who recorded their work, their being.
And that's when I seen him in operation, really, you know. He knew the story, he knew what worked, he knew what we were about. We did that with him, and it was brilliant.
All right, Casbah, 24th of February 1977, we got £20. We've definitely made a name for ourselves. It was fucking brilliant. For our sake, it had to be brilliant. Sound was fair all round. Fair. I don't think we would have been looked on as a brilliant new group if Billy hadn't demolished the drums at the end of TVI. He just went mad along with me and John, getting all the feedback we could. We're invited back in 2 weeks' time, and if that goes well, we'll be playing there regularly. Like I said, this is the year of the Undertones.
And this is the other thing about Vinny. He was fearless, you know. And I said, "How are you going to get? Do you need a presenter at all?" He said, "Nobody but John Peel." I said, "I write John Peel." Of course, he wrote to John Peel, and John Peel said, "Yes."
Here's one from Andrew in Holmfirth, West Yorkshire, saying, "Isn't it about time we heard the best record in the whole history of the world ever, yet again? Well, why not?"
I remember Vinny telling me that he drove, because John Peel didn't like flying, he drove over to pick up John Peel to bring him back to Derry. And we spent a great Saturday walking around Derry with John Peel, and Vinny was filming it. We had to stop every so often because John P was being talked to by people and he loved it. So we had a great time doing that with Vinny, you know.
Mickey, just hold the feet out for a second. That's it. Lovely.
So Vinny had this ambition and also the nerve and the confidence and the courage to follow through to do the best job that he possibly could, you know.
A great legacy to the city of Vinny's being is tracking the Undertones, particularly in the first flush, but also now in the mature second flush that they're having.
The Undertones, of course, and I was in Derry to make a documentary about the band, and but just really spent most of the time just sitting and eating and drinking and talking nonsense. It was always most agreeable. And my thanks to Vinny and Tommy, should they be listening, who were the people who organised it all in the first place.
You want a shield? I don't want people in there without shields. I do not want people in there without shields.
Because of his fascination with his hometown's history, Vinny wanted to shine a light on the city's troubles. Vinny teamed up with an unlikely collaborator, filmmaker John Petto, to create a series of documentaries.
We're quite different, you know. I'm an English guy from southeast England, from Kent, that had come to Derry. Vinny's had died in the war. Craig and I'd grown up through the Troubles and a bit rougher around the edges maybe than I might have been, certainly back then. And it kind of worked as a dynamic between us.
Both John and Vinny threw themselves into making a series of documentaries representing Derry during the Troubles, giving its people an opportunity to tell their stories in their own words.
Suddenly there was a whiff of victory in the air when we went marching, and the Unions tried to stop us, and the British ignored us, and the police were attacking us.
It was about getting Derry properly represented on screen. It hadn't been. Derry's stories were being told by people from other places.
But for the first time, they've taken to throwing the stones back into the crowds.
And that really pissed him off, and he was like, we have something special here, something unique here, and we're the best people to tell these stories.
August 1969. The disaffected Catholic population of the Bogside took to the streets to confront the Royal Ulster Constabulary in the wake of a Protestant apprentice boys' parade in the city. The violence, which was a manifestation of long-standing political grievances, was so extreme that in an unprecedented step, British troops were deployed into Derry.
In all of the televisual history of the Troubles, the Battle of the Bogside was a 3-minute footnote at the start of the film. This is where the army came in, this is where it began, but then it moved to Belfast and the real stuff happened. Fantastic history, which is really a microcosm of the history of Derry. It's the people of this city organising themselves to make a statement and to draw a line in the sand and say, we're not going to take it.
But I'll be damned you'll never silence the ordinary people, and that is...
Vinny had always wanted to tell that story and get that bit of history recorded and noted and marked down. He plugged away and plugged away. Everybody he went to said, oh, it's a great idea, it's a great story, but not for us. No, we'll pass on it. But Vinny's determination and his grit and his resilience meant that he sat in there, and I honestly would have walked away from it months before it got commissioned.
Are we all going to be dying? Are we all going to be nervous wrecks? Are we all going to be in jail?
What's worse than I?
They came up against hardship and serious pushback from the broadcasters. But Vinny's persistence paid off, and their work was picked up for national broadcast, going on to win the IFTA Award for Best Documentary in 2004. The success of these documentaries led to other projects in later years, including Operation Motorman and The White Handkerchief. Work that already has and will inspire a future generation of filmmakers to come.
There's very few filmmakers that have come through the city in the last 20 years that haven't had contact with Vinny.
Somebody with the character of leadership that Vinny had would quite naturally be a mentor. He was very present in the lives of people who were entering filmmaking.
I can't even remember his name now, but a boy messaged me on Facebook. He was speaking to me for in a shop, and he was talking about how he wanted to get involved in media. He said my father messaged him, and it was like a month later, he never forgot about it. And he said, here's like an apprenticeship. He applied for it and he got it. He gave him a start, and that ended up his full career then in the BBC.
He's been a role model to show that an ordinary Derry man Derry woman can do this. You need a passion and a vision, and that can carry you through to work at the highest level, to create work that's shown all over the world and is still authentically you, your people, your city, and the things that you loved.
Because of his love for the city, Vinny shot, collected, and personally stored a wide variety of archive footage, which not only preserved Derry's history visually, but became a treasure trove for other filmmakers, documentarians, and historians alike.
It's a really important collection. I mean, when we first started talking about what he had in literally his shed in the back garden, I knew he had a vast collection of footage of his own material, but also material that had been given to him that he'd archived and digitised. And he recognised the importance of ensuring it had longevity.
He didn't get a fund for it or anything. He didn't get a grant to do it. He just did it. And I'm sure Deborah was probably thinking, God, he's out there again looking at them, I felt. But it was just something that he had to do before it's too late, before the people who have them are no longer here, before they end up in a skip. To gather all that is just absolutely inspiring.
He knew rightly this is going to be important someday. And I think that was where the whole archive notion came from, you know. And he realised the value even of really bad home movies.
And so when people were approaching him with Super 8 and still images as well, he recognised the importance of these images of the city and the wider region.
And in those days, people had the idea that how do you make a home movie is you get this camera and you wave it around the room like that, you know, with everybody in it. But he patiently trolled through them so that they could pick out shots that they showed the fashion of the times, the kind of cars that people drove if they even had a car.
It's to give people a glimpse of the past, and Vinny's collection can help with that. He knew how to document, and he knew what was important to document.
And that's almost as important as the fact that he made Undertones films and Troubles films. He made this archive, he gathered the material, and you know what, he would probably still be doing it.
The many years of hard work that Vinny spent archiving film will now be of great importance in the continued documentation of his beloved city's history, and an invaluable source of help for future generations to come. Another part of the great legacy he left behind.
Obsession's probably the word that we have with Derry City. I actually got a free ticket in Primary 5 and you had to bring an adult with you, so obviously it was my dad. This is Block Jade, the Brandywell. This is where me and my dad would have spent most of our Friday nights, and there's a lot of happy memories here. That's one of the many things that I miss about him. It was just our thing to do.
Vinny was a lifetime supporter of Derry City Football Club. He chronicled their return to the Irish League in 1985 and continued to collaborate with the club for many years to come.
He was on our supporters club, Brandywell Pride. So that's how I got to know Vinny, from travelling on the buses, the home games, the away games, whatever was going on. Vinny was there.
Oh, amazing memories. We travelled to length and breadth of Ireland and further. We're in Latvia, Wales, Paris.
Till I die, I know I am, and sure I am, and stay till I die.
One of Vinny's most notable collaborations with the club was charting Derry City's European Odyssey, which took the underdogs all the way to Paris, France, creating lifelong memories for the fans.
I think the European Odyssey DVD that he produced in 2006 was a testament to what it was about, Derry City. He researched everything, he got everybody together, he pulled together a powerful presentation of our year in Europe, and I think he'll be really, really remembered around the club for that.
People involved with the club all knew Vinny, you know, they all knew him, and all the supporters. He was sort of a central character to all of that. It just came across so easily. I mean, he was such a lovely fella, and just his love for Derry City just always shone through.
Upon Vinny's passing, tributes poured in from all over, from the club and his fellow supporters.
My friends just came out with a banner, and there was a few tears shed. I still bring that banner to every game. It's where his seat is, the banner would be there.
You know, like, it was always like Vinny was their #1 fan. You know, I thought it was a wonderful tribute that they gave. No other person would have deserved it as much as Vinny.
Derry City was his thing. Filming was his thing. It's life through a lens, as they say. He's not gone. He's still over my shoulder.
Where and when he could, Vinny made a point of giving back. This was evident right up to his last project, a collaboration with Ardnashee School and College, a project which brought together many of Vinny's lifelong loves and passions.
So we came together, me and Vinny kind of made a plan, and we asked Undertones, and Undertones, yeah, let's go for it.
And we'd just like to let you know that we're making a new video for Teenage Kicks on Thursday the 5th of December in the Brandywell, and we need the help of the singers of Ardnashee. Yes. Otherwise it won't be any good. And if we had no connection with Ardnashee at all, you know, they did a version of Teenage Kicks, which is great, because Vinny was involved. I says, yeah. And as long as he says he was going to be there, it was going to be great.
So that day we organised 60 youngsters from Ardnashee, all with different needs and abilities, to do the song. The youngsters had a ball, the Undertones had a ball, and I had a ball. Just seeing everything put together on that day, it was amazing.
I loved that day up in the Brandywell on all these wains. It's that old cliche that you see what children like that have, and everything else is just put into perspective. Sometimes you could think about the band and about doing shows, and you kind of go, and then you look at this and go, no, this is great, you know, this is brilliant. Very privileged to be part of that.
We screened it in the bowling alley. Youngsters took their seats and they just thought this was top class. It was emotional watching it on the big screen. To be able to give that to those youngsters who have different abilities, different needs, it was just so special.
It's amazing the way it worked out, because it was all sort of, the Undertones, Derry City all came under the one project, and that happened to be his last project. It was just, in a weird way, it was nice the way it worked out, that all came together, and he was really proud of that, you know.
What is it?
Family came first for Vinny, always family first. So wherever he was in the country, he'd be on the phone to Deborah, and we would be saying, what do you get to talk about every night for an hour, you know? But nonetheless, that was, I mean, he always kept in contact, and he needed that contact with home all of the time.
For a kind of tough guy, Derry man, Creggan man, whatever, was totally open and vocal about his love for Deborah and his family.
He was a big family man, a massive family man. Me and Arda, we were spoilt rotten by my mum and daddy. Anything we wanted, we did get it. It was always fun, and even as a teenage boy, some people would have fell out with their fathers and stuff. I can honestly say I never had one argument with my father, not once.
There was just an honesty and a genuine love there that was just totally proud and grateful for what he had from them, that was really touching. And I think we all kind of learned a bit from him.
In later life, Vinny's love for his children grew and extended when he became a grandfather.
Me and Nicole knew that we were having Casey. We arrived with his Father's Day present, and we had a baby grow on it. He took out his presents and the baby grow fell on the ground, and I remember him saying, "What the fuck?" was the words he used, but he was buzzing. He was buzzing, and then him and Casey, the relationship they had was unbelievable. She's still obsessed with him, yeah. They would have watched Casey when we were at work, and when you would come home, both of them would be rammed under the one-way seat. He just done whatever Casey said. Casey was a boss, and he was happy to go along with it.
So he was very much a home man, a family man, a Derry man. And this is where he felt he belonged.
I knew my dad was a popular man because he was involved in music, he was involved in football, and he was just obviously a nice man in general. But whenever he did pass away, the messages and stuff that you were getting of things that he's done in the past for people, Not one person had a bad word to say about him.
Just a lovely, down to earth, helpful. It's a beautiful person.
Everybody has a legacy of their lives, right? Regardless of whether they're well known or not well known. But artists and makers like Vinny have the benefit that their legacy is in front of us. You can look it up and find films.
All the work he's done with Joe Mahan and all, and Westway Films, and the stuff he did with John Perro as well, and all those documentaries. What a contribution. And shows Derry for what it is, a cultural city.
The legacy stretches beyond the actual programmes on the shelf. Every time I looked up over the last 30 years, looking under the lens was Vinnie Cunningham. So I was still getting used to the fact it's not going to be Vinny anymore.
You'd be playing like that there and you'd look over. Vinny was there filming it, you know. It would be a wee bit of a cultural touchstone for me whenever it comes to some things, you know. And now I don't have that, unfortunately, you know.
My life has been materially better because of my relationship with Vinny. And I'm sure I'm just one of dozens and dozens of people that can say the same thing. And in its own way, that's a lovely legacy for someone to have. But it doesn't take away from that profound sense of loss that so many of us feel.